Zayn Xie is getting engaged. In the private room, his friend asked him, "What about Myra Chiao?" Zayn Xie said with certainty, "She won't leave me, keep her outside." Would Myra Chiao agree to that? Zayn Xie casually picked an orange from the plate and added, "I'll make it up to her. She's sensible and won't make things difficult for me." Later, I truly became, as he said, no fuss, no drama. I continued to play the role of the obedient and understanding girl in front of him. Until the day before his engagement, I sold the house he gave me, took the money, and ran away. Who in this world can't live without someone else? She's sensible, she won't make things difficult for me. As these words were spoken, I suddenly felt that the usually radiant and flawless Zayn Xie seemed to start rotting and stinking. I remember his mother fell ill because of the woman his father kept outside their marriage. Now, is he ultimately going to follow in his father's footsteps? The people in the private room were still discussing this topic. "Zayn, you and Myra Chiao have been together for 5 years now, right? Seriously, don't you get tired of it? In the past 5 years, my dad has already changed my stepmom 3 times. But you've always had only her by your side." Zayn Xie swirled his wine glass and said with a smile, "Myra Chiao is beautiful, capable, and has been with me since graduation, and she genuinely likes me. I don't want to just end things with her like this." Upon hearing this, my friend said with a smirk, "Say what you will, but Zayn, am truly devoted. If I were Myra Chiao, I wouldn't want to leave you either." Zayn Xie cursed, "Get lost." The group burst into laughter and started drinking again, chattering away as the conversation shifted to other topics. Marriage is truly terrible, being controlled by someone. See, Brother Fu didn't show up again today. I stood outside the private room, listening to all this with an expressionless face. The freshly printed contract in my hand made a creaking sound as I clenched it tightly. A tear slid from my eye and landed on my hand, cold and icy. I silently admonished myself in my heart, "Myra Chiao, snap out of it. Between you and him, it was never meant to be. You were just using him. Don't get emotional." After calming my emotions, I pushed open the door and entered the private room. Someone jokingly called me sister-in-law. Zayn Xie glared at them instantly. Zayn Xie has never said I was his girlfriend. In others' eyes, at best, I'm just a capable secretary. Only his friends know about the relationship between him and me. Pretending not to hear, I obediently walked to Zayn Xie's side and handed him the contract in my hand. I'm not planning to confront him right now. After all, he's still technically my boss. You can always find another man. But a job with 10 to 4 working hours, weekends off, and full social benefits is hard to come by. Even if I have to quit, I can't be the one getting fired. After sitting down, Zayn Xie placed the freshly peeled orange in my hand. The orange was peeled very cleanly. Even the white pith was removed. His friend saw it and said meaningfully, "Secretary Chiao, you're really lucky. Look how well our Zayn treats you. You must repay our Zayn properly." I smiled, tearing off a segment of the tangerine and putting it in my mouth. With one bite, a sour and astringent taste spread in my mouth. I should indeed repay him properly. After all, he saved me back then. The story of how I met Zayn Xie is a bit cliched. In my senior year of college, my mother fell seriously ill and urgently needed money. During my internship, to earn overtime pay, I went out for business dinners with my supervisor. But that supervisor had ill intentions. He spiked my drink with drugs. When that beast was about to drag me into the car, it was Zayn Xie who appeared and saved me. That day, lying in Zayn Xie's car, I actively pressed myself against him. Zayn Xie resisted, but couldn't withstand my repeated advances, and in the end, he lost control. After that day, he helped me cover my mother's medical expenses. After learning about the school I was attending, he had me join his company. After graduation, I even became his secretary directly. After joining the company, Zayn Xie taught me many things about work, outside of work. He would take me traveling all over the country to broaden my horizons. As a partner, he is emotionally stable, has no bad habits, and is very generous to me. This arrangement lasted for 5 years. In Zayn Xie's eyes, I had always appeared obedient and sensible during those 5 years. But what he didn't know was that my encounter with him was actually something I had planned from the very beginning. The place I went to with the supervisor was also the one I had booked in advance. Because I knew that Zain Xie would go to that mall every Friday night to buy pastries for her bedridden mother, the only thing I didn't lie to him about was that my mother was sick, and I really needed the money, but I was genuinely grateful to him. But now, I must leave him. Because I don't want to be the one who ruins someone else's marriage. The air conditioning in the private room was still on, and I was only wearing a short skirt. Now that autumn has arrived, the evenings are, after all, a bit chilly. After a while, I couldn't hold back a sneeze, a chew tilde. Zain Xie thoughtfully draped his coat over my shoulders and asked, "Are you cold?" I shook my head obediently as usual. Then, he continued drinking, one glass after another. After more than a dozen glasses, Zain Xie could no longer hold on and leaned back against the sofa. I took Zain Xie and left the private room early. He had drunk a bit too much and was staggering as he walked. I helped him into the elevator when we went upstairs. Finally, with great effort, we managed to move him onto the bed, exhausted. I lay down on the bed with him. Zain Xie doesn't drink often, but he handles alcohol quite well. When drunk, I just lie down and sleep. I turned over and gazed at Zain Xie beside me, breathing steadily, somewhat entranced. Zain Xie is exceptionally handsome. His face appears as if meticulously sculpted, without a single ounce of excess flesh. The thought of never seeing this face again brings a tinge of reluctance to my heart. I reached out and gently caressed his face. As my fingers traced the bridge of his tall, straight nose, they lingered there, reluctant to move on. 5 years, to say I never felt anything would be a lie. A tear slipped unexpectedly from my eye as the image of Zain Xie's confident expression in the private room suddenly flashed through my mind. She can't leave me. The next second, I withdrew my hand as if shocked by electricity. A voice popped up in my heart. "Myra Chiao, he's about to get engaged. He still wants to keep you on the side. Do you still want to like a man like this?" After coming to my senses, I was completely sober. Yes, no matter how despicable I am, I shouldn't continue to like someone else's fiancé. That's the bottom line. After thinking it through, I got up and left, closing the bedroom door behind me. I planned to wait until he woke up the next morning to make things clear to him. I had nightmares all night, waking up on the couch. The sky was still dim. Beside the couch, Zain Xie's phone rang from inside his jacket. I sat up and reached into the pocket to pull out the phone. When I saw the words fiancé on the screen, a wave of guilt surged through me again. I need to break up with Zain Xie quickly. I can't delay any longer. I took my phone and went into the bedroom. Zain Xie was still asleep. I patted his arm and hesitantly said, "Zain Xie, your phone is ringing." Zain Xie frowned and said, "Can you answer it for me first? It's your fiancé calling." After saying these words, Zain Xie suddenly opened his eyes, his gaze clear and alert. He sat up from the bed, took the phone, and pressed the answer button. "Zain Xie." I could clearly hear the voice on the other end of the line, a very sweet and lively female voice. Zain Xie gave a hum of acknowledgement. "So early, what's the matter?" The girl was quite skilled at acting coquettishly. "Why so serious?" "I'm calling to remind you not to forget that you're coming with me to meet my family today. Don't be late," Zain Xie replied. "I haven't forgotten. I'll be there on time later." The call ended, and the room suddenly fell into complete silence. When I felt like I was about to suffocate, I took the initiative to break the deadlock. "Are you getting engaged?" Zain Xie was very composed. "One more week." Then, he asked me with a smile, "What, are you jealous?" "No, Zain Xie continued. "By the way, I've already transferred the ownership of this apartment to your name. Someone should contact you this afternoon to sign the contract." After Zain Xie said these words, I forcefully swallowed back the words of breaking up that I had rehearsed 10,000 times in my mind. Men can be discarded, but a 400 square meter luxury flat in the city center, no one could possibly refuse that. When I looked up again, my eyes were brimming with tears, overwhelmed with emotion. Zain Xie probably thought I was just too upset. Seeing this, he reached out and gently wiped my nose. "Fool, didn't say I don't want you anymore." After speaking, he turned over and got out of bed. Walking towards the door, "I'll probably be busy with engagement preparations recently. Might not have time for you. Wait for a while." I'll come back to accompany you after I finish my work." As he spoke, he walked to the door. Before leaving, he hugged me and planted a deep kiss on my forehead. "Wait for me to come back." I obediently nodded my head, but the moment the door closed, I wiped my forehead with the back of my hand, crying, "Myra Chow, we'll leave as soon as we get the house. This is what you deserve after these 5 years." While waiting for the house to be ready, I didn't stay idle. I rummaged through everything and found all the gifts Zane Xie had given me over the past 5 years. Bags, shoes, and the like. I packed them into 2 large boxes. I sold them at a low price to a shop that specializes in buying second-hand luxury items. By the time I finished, it was already afternoon. While eating out, I received a text message on my phone. "Hello, Miss Chow. Do you have time to come and pick up the property transfer contract now?" After signing the documents, I turned and entered a real estate agency, entrusting the house to them. I only have 2 requirements: full payment and a quick sale. When I walked out of the real estate agency, I didn't expect to run into Jet Chen, a friend of Zane Xie. It was too late to avoid him. He spotted me immediately and even greeted me. "What are you doing here, Myra Chow?" I stammered. "Here to handle some business for the company." After saying it, I immediately regretted it. I just remembered, his family owns a real estate company. This agency seems to be part of his family's business too. With a sly look in his eyes, "I heard Zane just gave you a house. You're not planning to flip it here and then run away, are you?" I knew I couldn't hide it from him, so I simply admitted it. "At worst, I'll just give up on this house." "Right, I'm leaving Zane Xie. If you're going to report to him, call him now." His expression changed, and he opened his mouth, taking a long time before finally speaking. "Are you really sure about this?" I nodded in confusion. "I've made up my mind." "Zane, he really had no choice. He's quite serious about you too. Before you, he had never been with another woman. Would you please just..." Jet Chen wanted to persuade me further, but I stopped him. "I can follow him without any status or recognition. But I can't go against my own moral principles. I don't want to be the other woman." My voice was firm. Jet Chen finally sighed. "I won't tell Zane about meeting you today, but, as you know, he is that kind of person. If he finds out you've left, he will surely come looking for you. Take care of yourself." After saying these words, he left. 3 days later, the house was sold. Because I said it needed to be quick, the agent lowered the price by 20% below market value. The buyer was very straightforward. We received the message just that morning. By the afternoon, my account had received a deposit of 18 million. I have officially submitted my resignation to the company. To my surprise, Zane Xie agreed very easily. He texted me on WeChat asking, "Why the sudden resignation? Feeling unhappy?" I was just thinking about how to explain when he sent 2 more messages. "Forget it. If you don't want to work, then don't. After the engagement banquet, I'll take you to the seaside to relax." I replied with a single word, "Okay." At the same time, I booked a flight ticket to return to my hometown early the next morning. As I boarded the plane, I received a message from Zane Xie. It was a picture of a diamond ring. He should be accompanying his fiancée to look at diamond rings right now. Counting the days, their engagement banquet is just 2 days away. "Very beautiful," I casually replied. He asked, "Do you like it? Should I get one for you too?" "No need, I probably wouldn't use it. It's fine, it's just for fun anyway." Zane Xie seems to have truly become someone I no longer recognize. The ring that carried a woman's beautiful hopes for marriage turned out to be just a game in his eyes. I can't help but feel his fiancée deserves better. Just before turning off my phone, I still managed to say my final goodbye to him. I want to draw a perfect conclusion to these 5 years of ours. Zane Xie, I'm leaving. Wishing you a happy engagement. After sending the messages, I turned off my phone. As the plane continued to climb, the engine roared with a thunderous sound. I also silently bid farewell in my heart to the city where I had lived for 5 years. Jiangcheng, goodbye, and never see you again. On the other side, Zane Xie felt a momentary panic after receiving Myra Chow's message in the shop. He called Myra Chow, but her phone was turned off. A bad feeling crept into his heart. Myra Chow didn't seem to be joking, so he made up an excuse, saying there was an emergency at the company and he needed to go back. After speaking, he ignored his fiancée's attempts to stop him. Alone, he drove to Myra Chiao's house. When he arrived, he found the place already deserted. The passcode had been changed. Zane Xie realized he had been fooled, recalling Myra Chiao's usual obedient demeanor. An inexplicable anger welled up inside him. He muttered to himself, Myra Chiao, very well. After going downstairs, he picked up his phone and called his assistant. Find out what Myra Chiao has been up to in the past few days, and get me her itinerary, quickly. Early the next morning, as I went out to grab some food, I spotted Zane Xie downstairs. I wasn't surprised that he had come after me. I understand his personality, on the surface, calm and detached, but deep down, he's stubborn. He doesn't allow anything or anyone to escape his control. I saw him walking towards me from a distance, his usually neat hair slightly disheveled by the wind today. When he reached me, he grabbed my arm and shouted at me, "Had enough of this. If you're done, come back with me." Then, he dragged me outside. I stubbornly stood my ground, refusing to move. Perhaps because my arm hurt from his pulling, I squatted down and started crying. Only then did Zane Xie stop and squat down as well. He gently patted my head with his palm, his voice soft. "All right, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have lost my temper with you. I was just really angry earlier." Seeing me motionless, he simply picked me up from the ground. I struggled, saying, "I won't return to Jiangcheng." He gave a bitter smile. "Fine. No return to Jiangcheng. Go home, to your place." "Okay, I've never been to your home before. Take me up to see it." "Okay." Without waiting for my consent, he simply carried me upstairs. I live on the 5th floor, and there's no elevator. He walked step by step without saying a word, yet kept talking to me the whole time. "Are you feeling homesick? It's my fault. I was afraid you'd feel sad remembering your mother, so I never accompanied you back here in these 5 years. If you're homesick, you can stay at home a bit longer. It's the same if you return to Jiangcheng after the new year." I protested in his arms. "I'm not going back. I'll never go back in my lifetime." He sighed with a doting tone. "Are you still angry? So eager to marry me? As if anyone would want to marry you." I struggled in his arms once again. This time, I broke free easily. "Zane Xie, considering you were once my boss, you're welcome as a guest, but as for other matters, let's not bring them up again." The 5th floor arrived quickly. After opening the door, he followed me inside. I went into the kitchen and poured him a glass of water. When I came out, Zane Xie suddenly hugged me. "Myra Chiao, I haven't seen you these past few days. I really missed you. Let me give you a proper hug." "Okay." I used a lot of effort to push Zane Xie away. After pushing him away, Zane Xie looked at me with a stunned expression. Ding ling ling tilde. Coincidentally, his phone rang. He answered it with a frown. On the other end was that familiar female voice, his fiancée. "Zane Xie, don't forget, we're going to sample the menu today." Okay, I'll be back in the afternoon." Zane Xie hung up the phone, looked at me, and continued, "Myra Chiao, I really like you. Don't leave me, okay?" His eyes were filled with deep affection. He had just hung up on his fiancée, yet turned around to whisper sweet nothings to another woman. I made an impossible demand of him. "As long as you don't get married, I'll go back with you." Zane Xie indeed turned cold-faced. "Myra Chiao, don't get stuck in a dead end. These are all very normal things. Whoever I marry won't affect the relationship between us. You know I love you, isn't that enough? Do you really need me to marry you to prove that I love you?" "Zane Xie, I don't care if you can marry me or not. I never believed in marriage anyway, but I don't want to be the woman you keep on the side." Zane Xie paused. "The engagement was arranged by my mother." He seemed to be explaining, "You know my mother's current health condition, I can't break her heart. But I promise you, in a few years, I'll get a divorce and marry you. I won't make you wait too long." He opened his arms to me, as if waiting for my surrender. I stubbornly stared at him, motionless. After a long while, Zane Xie's face darkened once more. He stormed out, leaving behind a single sentence, "Even if you refuse to come back with me today, I have plenty of ways to make you return to my side obediently." Myra Chiao, we'll see about that. 1 month after Zane Xie left, I sent my resume to many companies, wanting to start a new life. But every single resume I sent out was rejected without exception. No surprise, It was done by Zane Xie, his forcing me to compromise. I quickly let it go. My savings are enough for me to live carefree for the rest of my life. Not working is no big deal. Later, news suddenly spread in the neighborhood group chat. It seems our neighborhood is going to be demolished. It wasn't until the day the property management came to my door, asking me to sign the consent form. I received a text message from Zane Xie. As long as you agree to come back, I'll have them stop immediately. It suddenly occurred to me, I think I once told Zane Xie that the house in my hometown was very important to me. After my mother passed away, Zane Xie asked me to sell the old house in my hometown. He wanted to buy me a new one in Haicheng, but I refused. I said, that house holds happy memories of my childhood. I just didn't want to completely become a parasitic vine at that time. Don't forget your own identity. But in fact, even this was a lie I told him. I smiled and signed the document without hesitation. Zane Xie didn't know, but I actually hated this house. Those beautiful childhood memories were also made up by me. Now that it's demolished, just perfect. After that day, I moved into a rental apartment costing $800 a month. The room is small but fully equipped, and staying alone all day wouldn't be scary. However, when people have money in their pockets and idle time, they tend to think of doing something bad. So, one night after binge-watching countless soap operas, I went to a bar and ordered a male escort. The moment I finished paying, I regretted it. As I watched the male model dancing in front of me, Zane Xie's face kept flashing through my mind. When I tried hard to shake Zane Xie's face out of my head, I saw the model guy standing right in front of me again. The sudden drop left me feeling unexpectedly disheartened. After downing 2 drinks, I left the bar with a hollow sense of emptiness. A gust of cold wind snapped me halfway out of my tipsy haze. A few steps later, hunger pangs struck, leading me into a noodle shop. I didn't expect to run into my old classmate, Lu Chen, here. He was the class monitor during my high school years and the only one who helped me when I was isolated by my classmates. He recognized me first and greeted me, Myra Chiao. I paused for a moment, then walked toward him with a smile, greeting him warmly. Class president, what a coincidence. As the words left my mouth, the look in his eyes changed slightly. Myra Chiao, you. He paused for a long time before speaking. You've changed. I looked down at myself. It seems I have changed. Back in school, I always kept my head down and never dared to speak loudly. But now, meeting Lu Chen's gaze, I smiled and said, it's been 9 years since we last met. It's only natural that we've changed, isn't it? Lu Chen nodded and said with a hint of emotion, it's really nice to see you become who you are now. He said it sincerely, without a hint of awkwardness. No one would have guessed that I once rejected his advances. I suddenly felt a bit ashamed. I took advantage of his feelings for me back then, just to make my school life easier. Now, I want to apologize to him. Back then, he was interrupted mid-sentence by Lu Chen suddenly standing up. He waved toward the door. Qian, over here. I turned around to see a girl in a pink down jacket walking in. After she took her seat, Lu Chen eagerly introduced her to me. Chen, my girlfriend. I stood up and extended my hand to his girlfriend. Hello. I'm your boyfriend's high school classmate, Myra Chiao. The atmosphere was awkward, and sitting across from the young couple made me feel quite uncomfortable. After the noodles arrived, I took a couple of bites and then asked the waiter to pack them up. Before leaving, they kept trying to persuade me to stay, unable to refuse. I added Chen's WeChat, saying we'd meet up another time. Leaving the noodle shop, I couldn't help but sigh. I must have watched too many romance dramas lately. Otherwise, how could such unrealistic thoughts pop into my head? Before Chen arrived, I had even considered apologizing to him for what happened back then. Thankfully, I didn't say it out loud just now, otherwise, it would be really embarrassing. Looking up again, I saw a girl in a red short dress standing not far away. On this street where everyone was wearing black or grey coats, she stood out quite a bit. I had a feeling she was here for me, because ever since I came out, her gaze had been fixed on me. It turned out I wasn't wrong. Sure enough, just as I had taken a few steps, she caught up to me. I'm Zane Xie's fiancé, Xiao Ran. Want to talk? I glanced at her arms reddened from the cold and brought her home. Once inside, she looked around the room and made a face of disdain. Didn't Zane Xie rent you a decent place? I no longer intended to pour water for her. I've already broken up with Zane Xie, I said calmly and with dignity. She curled the corner of her lips. Do you really think I'd believe that? After speaking, she reached out, lifting my chin with her fingertips, her gaze full of disdain. I was under the impression you were some kind of stunning beauty. To have Zane Xie so infatuated with you, it seems like nothing special now. After saying that, she casually walked over to the sofa and sat down. I patiently repeated it once more. Believe it or not, it's true that I broke up with Zane Xie, don't worry. I won't interfere with your marriage. Hearing my words, she scoffed lightly and retorted, you don't think I'm here to ask you to leave Zane Xie, do you? You're wrong, on the contrary, I'm here to persuade you to return to Jiangcheng. I was somewhat taken aback. Why? She raised her eyes, filled with disdain. I'm not like you. I'm not the kind of woman who becomes nothing without love. Her tone was dripping with sarcasm. I'm only with Zane Xie for my family's business. I don't care if you're still with Zane Xie or not, I just don't want to see my groom abandon me at the altar on my wedding day. I understood in my heart, she probably thought I was playing some kind of hard-to-get game. I stayed silent for a moment, then said, Zane Xie. Zane Xie is not the kind of person who doesn't know what's important. Besides, he loves his mother so much that he would never let her down. Xiaoran crossed her arms, looking domineering. Of course I know he wouldn't. I'm worried about you. Who knows if you'll pull some suicidal stunt. Don't worry, I won't either. She waggled her finger. I don't trust a scheming woman like you. Then there's nothing I can do about it. I spread my hands, adopting a take-it-or-leave-it attitude as if to say, believe what you want, see what you can do about it. I noticed a flicker in her eyes. It's only natural for a poor person like you to want to climb the social ladder. But I must remind you not to forget your place, she continued. Actually, I quite pity you. Born from humble origins, it's not easy to climb up to someone like Zane Xie. Now, you must be trying to hold on to Zane Xie's coattails tightly. However, I'd like to give you a piece of advice. Don't set your expectations too high for a man, thinking he'll love you forever. A woman's only worth lies in her youth. You might as well stay by Zane Xie's side for a few more years while you're young and make a good sum of money. I can also give you an extra sum of money. Why not take the opportunity? Name your price. How much? You just agreed to return to Jiangcheng and stay by Zane Xie's side until he gets tired of you. A sudden cold breeze blew against my back. I turned to look. It was because Xiaoran hadn't closed the door when she came in earlier. Turning back, I also let out a soft laugh. To tell you the truth, I'm not what you think either. I've never cared for love. From the very beginning, I only approached Zane Xie to get money for my mother's treatment. You don't have to worry about me clinging to him. He's just a tool to me. I don't want money, and I won't return to Jiangcheng. Nor will I be the third party between you two. I'm not like you rich people. I have the most basic moral principles in life. She suddenly burst into laughter. Ha 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 tilde. The laughter was piercing. No side chick. Wasn't your mother the other woman? I was completely furious. Shut your mouth. Xiaoran showed no intention of stopping and continued speaking. There's no need to pretend in front of me. I've already looked into your background before coming here. Your mother was the other woman. So it's only natural for you to be one too. After all, as the saying goes, like mother, like daughter. Asterisk slap tilde asterisk. A dense, stinging pain spread through my palm. Yes. My mother was the other woman. I always thought I hated her. Because of her, I never had a single good day at school. But later, when she fell ill, I found I couldn't bring myself to be cruel. For her sake, I didn't hesitate to sell my body. I became someone who would stop at nothing to achieve my goals. Yet in this lifetime, nothing stings more than being called that by others. Do you believe that with just a flick of my finger, I could crush you like an ant? Xiaoran covered her face, looking at me with an expression of disbelief. Only then did I realize what I had done. As I stood there stunned, Xiaoran rose from the couch and raised her hand to strike me. I resignedly closed my eyes. Just before the slap could land, a sharp command came from outside the door. Stop. Then Zane Xie walked in from outside. Get the hell out of here. Zane Xie shouted at Xiaoran. Xiaoran's eyes instantly turned red, and before leaving, he dropped a threatening remark. You'll pay for this. After Xiaoran left, Zane Xie stood at the door, quietly watching me as if trying to see right through me. Just now, was everything you said true? It's true, I admitted it. No fluster from being caught in a lie, but rather a touch of composure. I only approached you for the money. Now you know everything. Go after her quickly. Your fiancé probably hasn't gone far yet, or you might not catch up later. Actually, I knew he was outside the door all along. Those words just now were deliberately said by me. It was just to quickly draw a clear line between us. What surprised me was that Zane Xie didn't go after Xiaoran. Instead, he walked up to me and knelt down on one knee. He took out a diamond ring from his pocket and said softly, "Actually, I came today to propose. No matter what you look like or why you approached me, it's you as a person that I love, Ms. Myra Chiao. Will you marry me? In the future, I will love you with everything I have." As he was about to put the ring on my finger, I pulled my hand away. I turned around, my back facing him. "But, Zane Xie, I don't love you, from beginning to end. The only thing I've ever loved is money. If you really can't spend it all, just give me more money." After a long while, Zane Xie stood up from the ground. "Myra Chiao, I'm giving you one last chance. Will you agree or not?" I didn't turn back. After Zane Xie left, I stretched out my palm marked with crescent-shaped indentations. "It's okay, I was almost moved just now, but I know, we were never from the same world, so, I have no regrets. From now on, I will live well and earn money diligently. No matter what kind of person I become, it will be the version of myself that I aspire to be. And it has nothing to do with Zane Xie." As for Zane Xie, from the moment he wanted to keep me as a hidden relationship, to me, he is merely a passerby.